There's a Steven Show, the Steven Show, the Steven Show, yeah.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Steven Alexander, and I am here with Angela Peterson. We are both graduate assistants for the communications department at Austin Peay State University. And I just wanted to take this time to just introduce ourselves and for you guys to kind of get to know us. And we're going to have a conversation. This is going to be from my show. It's Steven Time, as you very well know. But this is going to be like a different episode where we're just kind of getting to know each other, something short, something sweet, and something simple. So, Angela, how are you today?
I am fantastic. How are you, Steven?
No, I can't complain in quarantine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody is. Everybody should be.
What'd you say?
Everybody should be.
Right. But this is a big adjustment for I know you as well and me too. It's different being on Zoom, and especially for me, I'm a hands-on person. I like to hug people and kiss on people. I like to touch on people, and I can't do that.
Oh, nothing all that.
You still know about all that? Look, I'm like a rapist. I ain't trying to touch nobody. I mean like that. I just like a little, like a little something.
Right. Yeah, it's very hard, especially because we are in the Department of Communications, and everything that basically we've learned up until this point, like, has been so hands-on, and to take a step back from that and start doing everything virtually, it's definitely an adjustment for sure. I know a lot of communication students last semester when we had switched, before spring, after spring break, and everybody was like, ooh, extra week of spring break, and it ended up being the full semester. There were a lot of people who had a hard adjustment to that, not just communication students, but everybody.
Right, that's true. I want to ask you, now that you're mentioning that, so, we just recently graduated in May, but we had a ceremony in August. I just want to ask you, now that you're here in grad school, how has that affected you? How has this whole quarantine and COVID-19 affected you personally? Did you go through anything mentally challenging? Because, a lot of people had struggled with this new lifestyle that we're in. So I just want to ask you about that.
Right. Well, Stephen and I, for the audience who don't know, we are the video production GAs for the Department of Communication. So for us, it has been really, really hard trying to even get into grad school, because nobody really knew where these next few months are gonna lead us. Even now, like that, we're back in school, but especially leading up to bringing students back on campus. So many people, I know we kind of had to jump through hurdles a little bit to get some information about what was going on, with our GA positions and with grad school in general. Signing up for classes and things like that was a struggle. Thankfully, we were able to get into all of our classes on time. I guess graduate students aren't known, they kind of sign up for their classes a little bit later anyways. Yeah. But, we weren't signing up until 3 weeks before class, right?
Yeah. It was literally 3 weeks or something before. And even then there was so much havoc because they couldn't tell us, our advisor couldn't tell us what she needed to tell us because she was still waiting on information from the university. So it was just a bunch of stuff. And then we're sitting here, so we sound like we're harassers because we're like, what's going on? Dr. Ashi, what's going on? And I know she was tired too. She probably started drinking after us. I know she did. Dr. Ashi, we love you and we are sorry, but I'm sorry. Like, I will apologize right now. I know I was sending you email after email, but it was just like we didn't know and we wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? So we apologize.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, like, every time that I heard something, I was giving you a call. Like, I was like, and we were almost like, we were harassing other people, and we were letting each other know. We were like, oh yeah, I didn't hear from this person. And then we were like, oh, I better call the payroll office. I need to make sure I get my money.
Right, for real. We was calling all these different places. I know people got tired. Because
Yeah, we
I
were
was
like,
okay. So
"Give me
this
that
person didn't answer. I'm gonna call
information."
this person. I'm gonna call this person. I kept calling. I kept calling. Just somebody gonna answer this for me. You know what I'm saying? Just all over the place.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, we were like,
You
either way, you're gonna run me my information.
right, right. I want to ask you. Just outside of quarantine stuff, we've been going through a lot of stuff, changes in our world with COVID-19 and also with race relations in our world now. That's been the biggest thing that's been going on. I want to ask you, how has that affected you personally? Because now many people don't know that you are biracial and many people think that you are Hispanic and you're not. I mean, there's nothing wrong being Hispanic because Hispanics are beautiful people. But I think it's important for people to understand, just because someone looks a certain kind of way doesn't mean that's what they are. You have to really get to know that person. So again, people really don't believe you when you say, hey, I'm mixed. And of course, I'm chocolate. I'm African American. People know that. You can tell. And if you can't tell, you can go get your eyes checked. So I just want to ask you, how has that been for you, that challenge?
Well, actually, gosh, that's a lot. I mean, I know when COVID-19 first had hit America, um, nobody really took it seriously. Like everybody was like, oh, kind of like how we always heard of like swine flu or Ebola. We were like, oh, it's just one of those things. It'll go away. Like it's not going to affect us. And when when it had hit Tennessee, actually the day that it hit Tennessee, I was on a flight to go to Ireland for study abroad. And so when I came back, not even 2 weeks later, it was a whole different world that I was coming back to. I was in fear of not only like my life, but also what I could potentially be bringing back to, my two little sisters, my mom and my dad. So I was like, I didn't want to hurt anybody, and that was my main thing. So I mean, I know the first 2 weeks when I came back, I did what everybody had advised. I isolated myself, and when I say I isolated myself, I was literally in my room by myself. Like if I had to go and get something from the kitchen or something, I was going with like an N95 mask, like walking through my own house. So it was very, very difficult to just come back to a world. It just seemed like almost like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it did. For me, I was on a missions trip in Memphis. So, and during the time, I had a great time and all, but I already had felt bad because I missed my grandmother's birthday because it was during all that time. It was early March. So I was gone. And then when I came back, it felt like literally, I mean, I was in Tennessee, I was in Memphis, but when I came back to Nashville, it was just like, whoa, like it feels different. Everything is just different. And then, it just felt crazy. And then on and on as the summer continued to happen, we started having racial issues. For a minute, I've never felt like this in my life, but I started feeling hopeless. I started having this depressive feeling, very depressing, feeling like, I don't know, I just started feeling very different. And I just started feeling like, what is going on? And also, what can we do to be better people? Because I felt like there was just so much going on that people weren't focusing on how we can be better and how we can love each other in this time. Because I remember when everything started happening at first with the quarantine, we weren't at each other's throats. We were trying to survive. Everyone was trying to survive. Everyone was trying to live and take care of their family and their friends. And it didn't matter about what color that person was or, all these different things. And all of a sudden during the summer, it just felt like, things started happening, with George Floyd and then it just, I don't know where it went wrong. It just started all snowballing. And I just felt like, whoa, I just had to sit back for a minute,
Yeah.
And for me, I was also very taken back because, like I said before, you know, many people don't understand that being African American in this world is definitely something that you have to be cautious of on a daily. And particularly being a Black man, you have to be very cautious of that daily because there's just people that don't like you. And people may agree, people may disagree. I don't really care because I'm speaking my truth in my experiences. So it was just hard looking at all these different things. But then, it was just hard.
No, it's already bad enough to be isolated because of a pandemic, because of this virus, but then also to almost feel like isolated because of who you were born as.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different type of pain. I mean, I know for me, like I mean, a lot of people don't know, but I am half Black. And I know I'm light bright. I'm shining right now. You can't hardly tell. But yeah, I mean, that's my truth. And I mean, like for me, I shared in those feelings with you because like it was like I just felt so for a while. I mean, even sometimes now I just felt angry. I was like, why is this happening? And not only because of I'm half Black, but I think about like, my dad whose skin is brown, my stepdad whose skin is brown, my little sisters who have darker skin than me, my family, my friends, my best friend of like 10 years, I think about that stuff. And so for me, like, I almost felt like not only is it my responsibility to speak out again, I mean, it's not enough just to be like, oh, I don't participate in racist activities or I don't say racist things. You have to be anti-racist. You have to be like, no, racism isn't tolerated. Because at this point, for me, I feel like, you can have a difference of opinion on a lot of things. Some people are Republican and Democrat, or, I mean, there's things that you can have a difference of opinion on, but racism is not one of them.
And lots of people are justifying why things have happened the way they have happened. And I think people are really not understanding that there's no justification in racism. A bigoted is a bigoted. There's no justification in that. And it's like, you could call it out as you see it, or you could sit back and justify. But with you justifying yourself, you're not giving yourself justice, You're showing more of who you are. You're showing more of the ignorant person that you are. Because if we were all supposed to be created the same way, I'm not God's assistant. I can't tell y'all or say how he would do, but I could imagine that he would not create us to be so different if he wanted us all to be the same way. You know what I'm saying? We all would have been one certain race. We all would have been one certain thing. But God didn't create us like that. And, I hear a lot of people saying that, I don't see color. I don't see race. And, I don't think that's an issue. It is. Number one, you should see race. You should see color. You should see that people are different than you. And you should see that race is an issue. And you should be okay with accepting that. All of those attributes and understanding. That's what makes, you should not be okay with accepting racism. Let me put that out there and make that very clear. But you need to be very accepting and understanding that people are different, and you need to accept that. Because if you can't accept that, I don't even know why you're still living. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I had an experience a few days ago where I took my grandmother to go and get her hair done.
Mm-hmm.
And the hairdresser, I don't know, like, it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's the same way if you go to a barber shop, like people just be talking. And it came up, Black Lives Matter came up. And she was like, I don't understand, of course she was white. And she was like, I'm tired of hearing about it. I don't understand why they're blaming us. And I was like, in no way, shape, or form, and I want to make this very, very, very clear, in no way, shape, or form is Black Lives Matter saying all white people are bad. And a lot of times the rebuttal to Black Lives Matter is all lives matter. And it's like, of course they do. Why, white people matter, Hispanic people matter. Every color on it doesn't matter. Your life matters. Yes, of course. However, Black people are getting, I mean, it's everywhere, you can't escape it. Like, I mean, it's not like saying all lives, like a lot of people who are saying all lives matter are the same people who are like, talking about Hispanic immigrants taking our jobs. Or
I think I'm glad you mentioned that. I think a lot of people are missing the point. Everyone's trying to justify again, but not understanding what is God saying this. And I'm sorry, if you do not know who God is, I would advise at least opening your heart to know who he is and reading his word so you can understand how we're supposed to live this world. And what I'm saying is none of us are perfect. I'm sorry to ruin anyone who thought that they were, but none of us are. But what I'm saying is when we see wrong and we see, hey, I shouldn't treat my brother that way, I shouldn't treat my sister that way, what can I do to be a better person to do that? And not say, well, I feel this way and you feel this way and let's argue. No, what can we do to be better? And so this is not right. How can we all change? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But do we get to that point? Will we ever get to that point?
I feel like it would take, I don't think that it's impossible, because I want to see the best in people. However, it would take a lot of open-mindedness and because a lot of people, especially like in the southern region that we live in, are very close-minded to they feel like their thoughts really are the only ones that matter. And obviously everybody, they have that saying, opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has them. And we do, everybody has their different opinions and you're entitled to your opinions. However, especially when it comes to Black Lives Matter, it's not a matter of like Black people mean more than white people, because I think that that's a lot of times what people hear. It's the matter
of choose to hear. Because I don't think, I think that it's very clear what the movement is about. But some people choose to focus on the negative and choose to make it something that it's really not. You know what I'm saying? We know that the Black Lives Matter movement is talking about, hey, we matter, Black people matter. But people don't want to hone in on that. They don't care about that. They want to pick it to its core and say wrong things about it. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's where the issue is. You know what I'm saying? When do people accept that, hey, this is a movement that's trying to, elevate and trying to get people to understand that, hey, look, Black people matter just like you do. And someone brought to my attention, oh, girl, we see booty and thighs, girl. Oh, no, Lord.
I heard my little sister coming through and I was like, oh man, let me lock this door.
Right. But yeah, I just feel like someone brought to my attention that how do you want to be treated? How do you want, when you have white friends, you have Black friends, you have Hispanic friends and their families, and you think about their parents, how would you want your child to be treated if you're a white person or a Hispanic person or a Black person? So those are the things we have to think about when it pertains to Black Lives Matter. If you're a white parent, how would you want your child to be treated? Would you want your child to be mistreated or talked bad upon because of their race or whatever? I don't think so. And maybe you don't have that same thought process because you've never experienced it. But what I'm saying is open your eyes, open your mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's happening.
My advice for people who are wanting to, I guess, understand all of this a little bit better, if you've got Black friends, I'm sure you have Black people in your community, please have a conversation with them. Really try to understand their pain and their hurt, empathize with them. It really does not, a lot of people say it, but it costs nothing to be kind. I mean, you don't have to be a certain race to be kind to others, you know? And I think that people who are, just like there are, you know, good people who come in every race, there are bad people who also come in every race. So it's not about, oh, you know, whites versus blacks. It's everybody versus racist, you know? I mean, we have to really come together on this and say not only is racism, you know, not only should we fight against racism because of the people around us, but we should fight against racism for ourselves, for our, you know, for our children's future. And, you know, I mean, I want to leave this world knowing that I left it better than when I came into it.
That's true. You know, I want to thank you for sharing that. And I want to say too, guys, the only way we can get better is to do better. And the only way we can understand to do better is to change. And the only way we can change is to acknowledge the ugliness in our hearts. And the only way to acknowledge the ugliness that's in our hearts is to understand that, hey, we need God. We do. And like I said before, if you don't know who he is, get to know who he is. And I'm not bashing people that are atheists or whatever you want to believe, but I'm saying open your mind and be open to the fact that if you allow God into your space, he will fill that up. And he will show you how to love people. He will show you how to navigate through the madness and the deranged crap that's in this world. Angela, I want to say thank you so much for your time. Listen, we went with the flow today, and I'm loving that so much. That's what conversations are about, just going with the flow. And I thank you so much for your time. And for our viewers, I want you guys to, you know, just keep up with us. And, you know, and we're all online, we're all remote. So you can follow Angela. What's your social media, girl?
Oh, no. So I'm on Facebook as Angela Marie Peterson, so you can follow me there. And I'm on Instagram as humans_r_weird. And also you can follow my professional page, Angie P_TV. So thank you so much for having me, Stephen. I really appreciate it. I love having conversations like this.
Yes. Thank you for thank you for being willing to. And guys, you can follow me too on the media. I'm on Facebook, Stephen Christopher Alexander, Instagram and Twitter at Chris_Xander. And yeah, and if you have anything that you want to talk about, make sure to DM me. And if you have any topics or any concerns, and we can go from there. And maybe you can come on the show. We can talk about something. You got to bring something to the table, though. That's all I got to say. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. Much love to you guys. And remember, in everything that we do, always remember to let's go pee. Until
let's go pee.